Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the webinar. My name is Kabelo Sintumedi. I'm a technical consultant for construction computer software, also known as CCS. It is my pleasure to present this webinar to you. Today, we will be discussing price codes and coding structure that will help you streamline your work and save you time. I will aim to keep the webinar within the allowed time frame of approximately 1 hour. Due to the large number of people logged into this webinar, we will not be able to answer any questions during the presentation. However, please submit your questions during the webinar with the provided function on screen. Afterwards, we will collate these questions and send the answers to everybody that registered for this webinar via email. Please note that the webinar will be recorded and you will receive a link to the download. We plan to host a webinar once a month on various candy topics. Should you not be able to attend the webinar at the given time frame, then please still register for the webinar, as you will automatically receive a recorded copy of the webinar. Now, without further delay, let's get started. The following will be the topics that I will be able to cover today. Explanation of a price code, advantages of a price code structure, ways of speeding up the pricing process, auto pricing, generic auto pricing, recoding price codes. Section A of my training, explanation of a price code. What is a price code? A price code is used to price a bill items retaining the unit, price build-up of a rate including its description, and the code is structured for easy reference in a pricing library. Price code can be up to 8 alphanumeric characters in length. The functions of a price code. A price code is used to price bill items. A price code must start with a predefined trade, providing a quick trade summary. A price code may be created by the user or generated by Candy. One price code may be used for multiple bill items, effectively speeding up the pricing process. Now on the screenshot below, we've got clear side, north boundary and south boundary with the same price code. If you change any of these items' rate, it will change the rate where it has multiple occurrences. The key information of a price code includes the following: pricing description, unit, rate, individual markup, and the total pricing quantity. Now let's manually do some illustration of a function of a price code. My pricing bill, first page is all the excavation items. Page 2, it's all the metalwork items. Now I'm creating page 3. My heading level, it's external works. Clearside, north boundary. With a quantity of 1,000 square meters. Page 1, item A, Clearside has been priced and has a price code E00002. Now, page 3, item A, Clearside north boundary is unpriced, but I have a similar item, and to speed up the pricing process, let's copy Clearside's price code to price our new item, Clearside north boundary. Page 1, item A, on the price code column. For item A, right click. Copy, and I'm going to paste on page 3, item A. Now, one of the key information of a price code, I did mention it's a rate, it's a pricing description, which we'll have a look at, as well as the quantity. I will open the price code listing. And if you have a look at this price code listing document, notice that the first price code I have, it's E00002, Clearside, with a total quantity of 3,000. I have priced 2 items with the very same price code, therefore the total quantity will be summed up. On the record row selector, I'll do an X reference on the price code on the bill items. And you can clearly see that it has been allocated on page 1 and page 3, item A, Clearside, as well as Clearside north boundary, and the breakdown of the total quantity. On page 3, item A, Clearside north boundary, the price code has a red indicator. If you put your cursor on that red indicator, it will flag that it has multiple occurrences. It has been used more than once on the bill. Now let's assume Clearside north boundary is on a sloping surface, which will make the rate adjustment to be a bit higher because of the working condition. What will happen if I manually override the current rate from 10 to 12? Change to the price code. It will affect 2 items on the bill. And if you have a look at page 3, item A, I've changed the rate from 10 to 12. And on page 1, the very same price code, the rate will also change. Because the price code adopts a rate, it will change the rate of that price code everywhere it has multiple occurrences. So let's change it back to its original state. of 10. And for me to actually change this rate, because it's on a sloping surface, I need to give this price code to be different, its own unique price code, so that it doesn't affect the items above with the same price code. Page 3, item A, I'll right click on the price code column. And I'm going to use the right click functions to duplicate this price code and recode it. Now, there are functions or options available on the right click menu that can be applied to price code, which I will later on explain. Recode, duplicate price code. Price code recoded is 1, and a display of affected items will be shown on that analysis block. Old code is E00002. My new code has been added with the character A suffix at the end of the code. It's on page 3, item A, clear side north boundary. Clear side north boundary has its own unique price code. We can also give it more information on its pricing description. Note that the price code has its own description. The description of the bill items is totally independent of the price code description. Therefore, 2 items in the bill with different descriptions can be priced using the same price code, and conversely, 2 items in the bill with the same description can be priced using different price codes and therefore have different rates. Add my description to give it more information. Clear side, sloping ground. So next time when I use the very same code, E00002A, the pricing description will give me more detail based on my rate of that price code. Now, before ending this section, I would like to look at the right-click menu available for the price code. Right-click on any price code. The first option I have is to clone this price code. And if I clone it, it will be added with a suffix right at the end of the price code. The second option is to allocate price codes. If I have a list of all the price codes in my master price code listing or the jobs price code listing document, I can be able to select allocate price code and select any price code. Make unique price codes for uncoded items. I can be able to go and select a range of items. And on the very first item that's unpriced, allocate only the trade, highlight the range of those items price code, select this option, and the system will generate its own unique price codes for uncoded items. Make unique macros for uncoded items. If you want to create a macro price code. The system will generate it for you automatically. The next option is to make unique price codes by example. There are situations where the numbering of price code against bill items must be controlled. For instance, more than one estimator is working on a job. So estimator 1 can be assigned to a series of 5,000 price code, and estimator 2 can handle 6,000. So this prevents them using one another's price code. Now we had a look at the reduplicate price code. Recode any duplicate price code. The next one is to clear a price code. Make resources or worksheets from price code. This facility particularly is useful in mechanical and electrical, as well as piping bills. This provides a quick method of pricing the installation of a list of equipment. So you can create a resource based on the price code, its description, and the unit. And you can copy any price code's worksheet and insert that created resource. Lastly, it's to delete all unused price codes on the current job. Right, now my page 3, item A, clear site. If I now go and change my rate from 10 to 12, it will not affect the item on page 1, simply because I've created the item's unique price code. It's got its own pricing description and its own pricing quantity and unit. After this chapter, everyone can relate to the key information and functions of a price code, knowing that it adopts a rate, pricing description, unit, as well as quantities. Advantages of a price code structure. The first step is how to create a price code. Now, the following principles are intended to serve as a guideline as to how to create a standard price code structure. Each price code must start with a predefined trade code, followed by an alphanumeric code up to 7 characters. Suggested price coding structure. Let's assume any code that starts with C0 represents unreinforced concrete. Any code that starts with the 2 characters C1 represents reinforced concrete. Bill item 10 MPa concrete in blinding. Create my own price code C010BLD. And if I were to give it more detail of my price code, C represents concrete, which is the trade. The next character, as I've mentioned, it's unreinforced concrete. Ten represents the strength. And the last character is blinding. So the first character, it's the alpha character, which is the trade code, and up to 7 characters alphanumeric. In my price symbol, I'm going to create my own price code for all these unpriced items, only for the first page, which is my section A. Now, before I create the price code, I'll open the price code listing document. Notice that it's completely empty. First item, by just looking at the description, the first code I'm going to create is C. Because it's unreinforced, it will be a 0. The strength is 10, and the last character will be BLD, representing blinding. C unreinforced is 0. (15) MPa, which is the strength, BLD, blinding. C015 FND represents foundations. And the last 2 items on my section A, it will be C1 because it's a reinforced concrete, 20 MPa it's the strength, FND for foundation, C125 FND. Open my price code listing and notice that all my price code are now captured on this document. Now, what is the benefit of a price code structure? Why do we have to have a price code structure? I have an unpriced bill of quantity. The following items will be priced, and I will demonstrate how quick it can be to price an item by simply allocating the bill item's price code. Because I do have a proper coding structure in place, I can simply type in the price code for item A, which is my 10 MPa concrete and blinding, by just looking at the description. C is my trade, it's unreinforced concrete, the strength is 10 MPa, BLD represents blinding. The next item, double click on the price code column, and a list of all my jobs price code will be shown on this new document, which can be customized, and those are the available columns that can be able to be selected. With the provided search block at the bottom left of this document, I will type in the first 2 characters, and the document will filter the range of those price codes starting with a C0, meaning it's unreinforced concrete. If it's a C1, it will highlight all the reinforced concrete. So I have an option to filter on my price code block or on my description block as well. I will use the price code C0, and notice that it highlights all the unreinforced concrete. The first item there is 10 MPa, and I'm looking for 15 MPa, highlighted, green tick, and the item will be priced. The next three items on my section A, the item that I'm pricing, that's a C1, and you can notice that if I press enter, it will push the first code that was highlighted. Or I can simply look for the code, because my structure is properly structured, my coding structure. Highlight my C125 foundation, the last item on my section A, allocated to my bill items. I trust that Candy users will have a better indication on the importance of a coding structure and the benefit of pricing a bill quicker by locating your codes at ease. Section C, ways of speeding up the pricing process. Two steps we are actually going to look at. It's different ways to insert a resource in a worksheet. We will also look at pricing similar items with the job's existing price codes. My first item has a price code, but it's unpriced. Open the price code worksheet. On the price code worksheet, on the top left, you will see the price code, the pricing description, and below you will see the page number 1, item A, and the bill description. Now, before I price or insert a resource, I'd like to show you my resource code structure. Shift Control Spacebar will close all my resource code structure, and notice that all my labor starts with code 1, meaning if I expand my heading, 10 will be all the simple labor resources, and any code with 1, 1, 11, it's my teams. If I have a look at my material, if I open all my material starts with a 7, and the following character, which is a 6, will be my ready-mix concrete. If I expand my ready-mix concrete, you will see all my ready-mix concrete resources listed. With my cursor on the first line inside the worksheet, I'll type in the first 2 characters of my resource, ready-mix concrete. My material is 7, my ready-mix is 6. Hold my control key on my keyboard, down arrow, and I can be able to scroll through my concrete resources. So control down and up arrow can be able to scroll through the concrete resources. Priced my ready mix concrete. Secondly, I'm going to use the right click, open my resource list, a different view of my resource list. And this resource list can also be customized. And I've got the unit, the final rate, the description, and the resource code to select. Shift Control Spacebar will close my headings on my resource code structure. And I want to apply or select my labor. So having a proper resource code structure can also help you to speed up your pricing process by locating your resources much quicker. There's my concrete team. I can double click. If I double click on this resource, in my worksheet where my cursor is highlighting, my resources will be inserted. Or I can click, hold, drag, and drop the resource inside my price code worksheet, or simply highlight and click on the green tick. I will double click on the resource. Apply my production. And I've priced this item. The purpose of this exercise was to show users that you can be able to insert resources quicker and faster inside your price code worksheet if you have a proper resource code structure. Let's have a look at pricing similar items with the job's existing price codes. Now on page 2, I've got 10 MPa concrete in blinding, which I have already priced. If I double click on that item's price code column, I will get the jobs price code list. Highlight the price code, green tick, and the item is priced. Users can now find it useful to use some of these candy features to help them speed up their pricing process. Auto pricing. This pricing method will be ideal if you have price codes allocated to your unpriced BOQ items. Auto price from a master will copy all the worksheet to the pricing job. Pricing job, auto price, unpriced job, which is completely a new job. On any new job, you click any menu under estimating, the system will pop up the new estimate setup. And on the new estimate setup, when selecting a master from this point, the following settings, codes, and common items will be copied. So I won't define any traits, resource type, or any other code listed below. It will automatically be copied from the master selected. I have a master already been set up. I will open my bill importing document 5.1. By default, this document doesn't have the last two columns, my price code and my import code column. So you would need to customize and add these two last columns. Tools, import my Excel bill. It's an unpriced Excel bill, which has all the price code allocated against these items. Before identifying all the columns, notice that the first line is my heading from my Excel bill of quantity, which shows level, heading, item, bill description. At the bottom left, I can simply put in a line 1 to be ignored. So ignore the first line of my import, and this line will not be imported. And I'll define my columns. Ignore my rate, amount, and define my price code column to be my import code. So remember, we do not have a price code column to define it. So we would define it as an import code and then copy it from the import into the price code column. My bill import status. What's very important is to look at the last statement, which is the bill quantity hash total. You can go to your Excel bill, sum up all the quantities, and make sure they tie up with the bill hash total quantities. I can import my codes into the price code column. Right click on the price code column header. Copy price codes from import code. And confirm this. Click yes. Bill items processed is 10 price codes. Imported is 10 of them. And the rest are zeroed out. Open my document 1.2, my price bill, and notice that there will be price codes allocated to all the unpriced items. The following needs to be done to auto price using the master. On the estimating menu, click on Advanced. Pricing. Auto price from master. Price from the master, all unpriced item, confirm, yes. Worksheet recalculation required. So price copied from the master includes price code worksheet, it's 5, and a complex resource worksheet, it's 1. And analysis there, it's shown on price code and complex price codes. It's 6. So it's 1 complex resource and 5 price codes being copied to this job. All the items will be auto-priced from the master. So basically, we imported an Excel build that had already been allocated with price codes, defined the price code column as an import column, and we only copied onto the price code column. Select your master and auto price. Generic auto pricing. There is another method of auto pricing that does not require an exact match between the price codes in the master and the job. So think of a situation where there are many identical operations in a job which have been given different description in the client's bill. Because the price code carries the description, each of these items would require a unique price code. The master job has E101 excavate for bases not exceeding 2 meters deep. And the rest of the items price code does not exist within the master. 2 to 4 meters deep, 4 to 6 meters deep, 6 to 8 meters deep. These items are essentially the same and would probably be priced with the same worksheets, and then adjustments can be made to suit each item. So with the master only having the first item's price code and the rest, we are actually going to make use of the generic auto pricing, and then later on we can be able to adjust the rates to suit the items. I have already set up a job. And it has all the unpriced items with allocated price codes. So the same process would be done as I've shown you doing the auto pricing. Import a bill from Excel and copy your import code onto the price code column. And also make sure that the appropriate master is being selected as well. On the estimating menu, advanced, and we are actually going to have a look at generic auto price from master. If auto pricing was to be selected, it would only price the existing price codes from the master. on this job. But if we select generic auto pricing from master, it will copy those similar items with an existing price code from the master in each of those items, which will allow users to change their worksheet without affecting other price codes. Select generic auto pricing. In this example, the level 1 will be selected. It determines how many suffix passes can be made to a code. So if you have a look at my code, E101, it only has a suffix 1 with the character A. If I had AB, then I would actually allocate the pass to be 2. But for this exercise, we can select 1. The trade is earthworks. Worksheet recalculation completed, and price codes worksheet is 4, complex is 1, giving us a total of 5 codes being copied. 1 is a complex and 4 are price codes. Now it can allow users to go and change their worksheets. Double tick, 2 to 4 meters deep, less production can be changed without affecting other worksheets. 4 to 6 meters deep, the production is less. 6 to 8 meters deep, also we can adjust the production to suit these items. Now this will be quite quicker for estimators to go and change those similar items worksheet without affecting the original price code. Auto pricing from a master will copy all the worksheet to the pricing job. So both can be able, users can be able to use the generic auto pricing as well as the auto pricing from the master. Recoding price codes. Price codes can be recoded to the user's preference. In this section, we will have a look at the procedure to recode price codes. The existing bill items have the following price codes, which will be recoded as follows. Excavate basis 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, and 6 to 8. And the price code is E101, A, B, and C. I am actually going to recode those existing bill items price code to the following: EBP, and this new price code represents the following: E, it's the trade; B, it's basis, excavating basis with plant, and the last characters are the depth. On my section A, item B to E will be recoded. On the estimating menu, housekeeping, recoding, price codes. On the price code changer document, I will import my code from the jobs code. If you have recoded your price codes in Excel, you can be able to import it as a file. Confirm to import from the job, and 9 codes are imported. The last 4 price codes I'm manually going to type in my new code. So EBP 0 to 2, EBP 2 to 4, excavate basis with plant 4 to 6 meters deep, excavate basis with plant 6 to 8 meters deep. So bear in mind, if you had imported from Excel, they will be automatically allocated against any old codes. Shift click to highlight the range. And the right click menu gives me an option to add a character to any of the selected price codes. It only adds a character at the end of a price code. The next right click menu is to insert a character. And this function will insert a character on the specified position of the 8-character alphanumeric new price code. Amend the character. This function allows the original new code to be revised with another price code. Delete character. Will allow the specified character to be deleted on the 8-character code. The second last option is to clear a new code. Last option is to delete entries, so to delete any entry shown on the document. Now, before we convert the code, we need to go and check the codes if there's no duplicates. Check passed OK. If there was any duplicates, the system will print out all the codes that are duplicate. And if we are OK, then we can click on Tools, Convert the Job. Convert the jobs code. Conversion completed. So this process does not convert any codes in the Candy planning. So once the conversion is successful, I will open my pricing bill. And notice that all those items have been recoded with a new price code. If I open my price code listing document, you will see also that it shows a list of my new recorded codes. The recoder will allow users to restructure their price codes and apply it to the bill without affecting the respective rates in the bill of quantity. So users have an opportunity to recode their price code and have a proper coding structure created to benefit their pricing process. I am sure you will agree with me that Candy is continuing to be the leader in estimating and project control software for the construction industry. So thank you for your time, and I trust that you will find this webinar useful in your daily use of Candy. Please remember to email your local CCS office if you want to know more about these features. We will keep you informed of the next webinar, and remember, if you cannot join on the selected time, then please still register, and you will receive the recording, which you can then watch in your own time. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you on the next webinar based on mechanical worksheets. Goodbye for now.